I am live on GBFC. Right now, I will wait. George should get the sack. Well, this is a bit premature. We've only just started the bloody stream, boys. So, I've just tweeted it out. We are officially in business. I will do the proper GBFC intro pretty soon. I'm just gonna wait for people to come in. There's only 52 people in here right now. George, you're a bit late. I'm trying not to be. I'll pause that there. Okay, 61 people in the stream. Late. I don't know. Am I late? You guys didn't even know about this. So, welcome back. Let's do this properly. You know, we're not messing about here. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to GBFC, the George Benson football channel, the home of Chelsea content. This is a brand new series that I'm gonna do. I will give you an update on my whole live streaming situation in a moment, and I will let you guys know the plan for this series. But basically, Chelsea and chill. It's like Netflix and chill, but the Chelsea version. And it's not quite 1080p yet. We're still on the 720p vibes, but we've got the old 720. You know, it's still okay. If you guys are at work, you guys are at home, you guys are wherever you may be, if you're watching this later, I will hope that somebody will leave a timestamp in the comments below so that you can skip to whichever part of the stream makes you more excited. I am gonna get myself a beer or a cider. I think I've got like a little cider in the fridge. Give me a second. In fact, one momento. Let me see what is over here. Yes, I do in fact have a cidre. Let me open this little bad boy now. We're live. GBFC gang, Bintang beer over everything. Well, the thing is, I'm not really a fan of Bintang. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to beer, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys wanna know more stuff that isn't Chelsea related in these streams, feel free. The whole point of it is, I've got a couple of topics that I wanna discuss that we'll go through in due course. But I want to gauge what the chat's saying, really. We're in an international break now, which is basically like the summer holidays. Although it's not really the summer holidays, because the summer holidays every 2 years have a European Cup or a World Cup for us to get excited about. So it's not really the summer holidays, it's spring break. That's more timely, to be honest. So yeah, we got no football for the next, I think it's 12 days now or 11 days. I should have like a giant countdown in my kitchen. I'm in the kitchen right now, just sat here, chatting to you lot. And yeah, Chelsea and chill. It's just gonna be a place where we can sit, have a little beer, discuss what we've seen in the week previous, look forward to what we've got coming up, take a little look through some Chelsea news on the day of which I am recording. And yeah, we can go through as many or as little topics as you guys wish. It is 9 p.m. right now, and I don't have any intentions of going to bed anytime soon. I was about to go to bed, and then I just thought, you know what? What better way to spend a bit of time when I've not made a video yesterday or today and just create a brand new series? And it's often at times when I'm a little bit stressed out about a few things. I crashed my car, which is ever so slightly annoying. It wasn't a bad crash that affected any people. It was more I just whacked the car, which is a nightmare. You guys who have had, you know, issues with your cars in the past will know that it is bloody annoying when you do something silly. Like I was trying to go down a road that just wasn't built for a car, and then the whole of the left side just completely scratched. Yeah. And then I've just been a bit like, had a couple of other little things I've got to deal with, got visa issues in Bali. That's what you really want. And yeah, just thought, good way to end the day today. Little bit of a live stream. Slowly people building up here in the stream. Got 400 people in there now. This is a cider that they have here in Bali called Albans. It's actually bloody good, you know. And compared to the like, cider you can get in Cornwall or in the UK, it's not quite that good. But considering it's bloody Bali and the Bintang beer that they have here, which is the standard beer that you see flipping everywhere, from the airport to the flipping toilets, everywhere is Bintang. It's not quite what I want from my beer. So the cider's good. So yeah, what have you guys been thinking about Chelsea? The Sheffield United game, I want to talk about that a little bit more. I didn't do player ratings because gauging the overall consensus of that match against Sheffield United, despite the result, people were a bit disappointed, to be honest. And I wanted to start the first topic that I instigate here in the stream today. I want to talk about the fluctuation in expectations surrounding Chelsea and how, as a fan base, sometimes we need to chill, you know? And I know it's a bit like pot kettle black or whatever the saying is, because I often come out and say, like, we're going to win the league, we're going to win this, we're going to win that. And I get excited very quickly and easily when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. But in terms of, like, this point that we are in right now is a very weird one when it comes to expectations and what we need to expect from Chelsea, but also what the important thing is at this moment in time compared to the dreams that we all have, you know? We all have these ideas that we want to play this amazing football, we want to dominate every single match because we've kept so many clean sheets in quick succession. We feel as though, like, any game where we give away a couple of chances can be considered worrying or not good enough. And it was Sheffield United and we let them in the game so easily and they deserve something more from the game, so therefore we're frustrated, or therefore we're annoyed. So the Sheffield United game was very bizarre for me because in knockout football, the thing I consider important, and I think the only thing that matters in knockout football, is getting a result. You know, it doesn't matter how well you play. The goal and expectation of Chelsea is to get to a final and then compete for the trophy. So when it comes to the way we played against Sheffield United, I think it is very much the most important thing that we just won the bloody game, you know? And I think, yeah, I've just seen somebody there in the chat say result cancels insult. I like that, to be honest, because I was reading the comments of 6 Things We Learned and they were like, oh, should have been more yellow boxes, should have been a few more, like, should have been red boxes in there. I was like, mate, we just won a quarter final of an FA Cup game, you know? Let's just relax about it. Celebrate the victory. We've got a semi-final coming up now and I want to talk about our opponents there and whether or not, like, without like the crazy reaction that we had to the Champions League draw and a big win against Atletico Madrid, some like realism about going into a semi-final against the best team arguably in the world right now. You know, Bayern Munich, a different gravy, we know, but Man City under Guardiola, this phenomenal run that they are currently on is something that shouldn't be underestimated. And I think as football fans, I'll tell you a little bit about how I feel about Man City, actually. Thank you, Oliver Logan, for the donation. Appreciate that. Super chats are available. It goes down very nicely for me. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Manchester City, you know, actually, no, we'll focus more on the Sheffield United, first of all. Chelsea have had like a very draining week, not just the 90 minutes of football that we played against Atletico Madrid. We had a very intense match a few days before that against Leeds United. Didn't get the result we wanted. And obviously when you've got that kind of game against Atletico Madrid, in the build-up to that game, the focus is so clear on the match at hand, which is a huge Champions League knockout game. And, you know, sometimes in football, you can be very, very tired and then you come unstuck. And it can actually sometimes be a blessing in disguise to not be involved in European competitions so that you've got a full week to prepare for FA Cup quarterfinals. But as Chelsea fans, bringing it back to expectations, we're very blessed to be in multiple competitions, to be competing for something at least. In the Premier League, we're competing for top 4. Champions League, we're into a quarter final, competing now for the trophy. FA Cup, we are still very much in the running despite the draw not being favourable for us in the semi-finals. So I think that performance against Sheffield United, I'm going to ban this guy. Like, what hide user on the channel? Dude, like, spamming comments is not going to get you anywhere. I'm just going to block your ass. Or if I can't block you because I don't know how to, I'm just going to hide your comment. So, yeah, I think the result against Sheffield United was the most important thing. Thank you, Oliver Logan, again for the donation. Let me know if you've got anything you want to know and I can answer your question for you. Guys, if you are in the chat right now, make sure you hit the like button on this live stream. We've got 650 people in here. Let's see if we can get as many likes as we possibly can out of you lovely people. So, moving on to Manchester City in the Champions League, well, maybe in the Champions League final. In the FA Cup semi-final, we drew Manchester City, which undoubtedly so is the trickiest draw that we could have possibly had. We had incredible luck in the Champions League draw, which we've already gone over quite a lot here on the channel, not just Porto, but having the away legs first and the away in the semi-finals, avoiding City, avoiding Bayern Munich, the route to the final is favourable for Chelsea FC. So that was incredible luck. It ran out in the FA Cup, and we've had incredible luck in the FA Cup draws all season long. You know, I think we've played Sheffield United from the Premier League, and the rest have been Championship opposition. So Luton and Barnsley, no disrespect, but Chelsea should be thinking they're going to win that one left, right and centre every single time. So the fact that we've managed to avoid a big club until the semi-final of the FA Cup is wonderful. And I think the thing with Chelsea in the FA Cup is when you get to a major competition, the latter stages, it's not always about who's the best team, who plays the best football. Man City, yes, of course, it's not going to be easy, but Chelsea have cup pedigree. We've won the FA Cup 8 times. We're incredibly successful in this competition. Made it to the final last year. And I think the Chelsea players, with the confidence that we currently have, going into this very important key part of the season where we're competing for top 4, we're competing for Champions League, FA Cup, 2 matches away from lifting the trophy at Wembley, which is something you always want to see. Chelsea will want to stop that potential that Manchester City have of winning a quadruple. It's actually incredible that they could actually win a flipping quadruple this season. And I think that the confidence that Chelsea right now have in that team, thank you very much Nishan Bhattacharya, come on you Blues, for your donation, really appreciate it. The confidence that we now have flooding through this side is certainly going to help Chelsea to put like a little bee in their bonnet, not just because obviously we want to win the trophy. And I think if we beat Manchester City, we'll back ourselves to beat either Leicester or Southampton in the final. I think that's a given, you know. Leicester are a very, very good side. Southampton have been brilliant in the competition this year. But there is actually an insect behind me. Thank you very much. It's not a troll. That is like a little flipping worm. In Bali, it's crazy. You have any gap under your door, you'll have flipping spiders, tarantulas, you name it in your house. So he can stay because there'll be more by the end of the stream. So Chelsea are going to have something inside of them, which is like, I got to sneeze. Bloody hell. Oh, another one. Blimey, I need some more cider. Chelsea will want to stop Manchester City from winning this quadruple because history says that Manchester United's season where they won the treble in '99 is currently the most successful side over the period of one season. Thank you for blessing me, Mr. Matty. Appreciate it. Is the most successful season a Premier League club has ever had in one go. Thank you very much, Tom, for the donation. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ozymandias. I've got your comment. I'm going to go through it in a second. So the way that Chelsea are playing, it is very much a point where not only will we be very confident going into any match because we're currently not conceding goals, but stopping that Man City run with the idea that the confidence they would get from being the first English club ever to win a quadruple, with the players they have, with the finances they have available and the ability they have to actually bolster that squad even further, I think it is so dangerous. And I think when, again, you bring it back to Erling Haaland, who's someone that we've spoken about countless times here on the channel. There's another donation coming from Catchy. I'm going to go through those 2 donations in a moment once I finish this point. But the fact is, the springboard that they would get as a result of potentially winning a quadruple is insane. We've had another 2 donations come in as well, from Robert from Denmark and Pierre. Also, greetings from France. Thank you very much. So I think everything that Chelsea do has to be to stop Manchester City here. And I think the fact it's the semi-final of the Cup means that we go into it with, we don't expect to win probably because of how good City have been. But I think we can be very confident that we're going to give them a good game. Recent matches we've played against Man City, we've come unstuck. We've looked, a shadow of the side that they are, when we really want to be competing for the same things as them. So in a semi, I back Chelsea to do it. First things first, let's go through Ozzy Mandias, his $5 donation. Hours of great content this season. Thank you. Thank you for making lockdown more tolerable when I can't gather with other supporters. Going to talk about that actually a little bit in a moment, but Catchy has said a question. Apart from Haaland, who else are you wanting to be signed in the summer to give us the best hope for next season? It's weird, you know, at the moment for Chelsea because Erling Haaland is the one that I desperately want. Last year, around the same time when we started getting linked to Timo Werner, I really wanted to sign Timo Werner. And I'm still very excited and happy that he's a Chelsea player, even though it's probably not been as, like, crazily brilliant as we all wanted it to be or hoped it would be. So Haaland is the one I really want. I think there is... Part of me is saying that we don't need anyone in the centre of midfield because we've got Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic with Billy Gilmour coming up as well. And obviously with Ziyech, Havertz, Mount fighting for different positions in the team, maybe one of them will have to go into that central role as well. So I'm thinking, do we need a central midfielder? I don't know, but Declan Rice is the one that I can see in the chat. You guys are coming up. Will Lasker's just said, got to be Declan Rice after the season he's had. Kessie, who's another player that Chelsea have been linked with as well. I think it's very tough at the moment. When things are going well at your club and you're not losing matches, you're not conceding goals, like a few months ago, pardon me, and again, I would have said 100% that Chelsea would have gone for a centre-back. 100%. And I still think realistically, if we look at, despite the current form, which, you know, form doesn't last forever, because if it did, we'd be winning every single trophy under the sun with the way that we're doing right now. Rudiger has been amazing, but do I think he is a good enough centre-back that Chelsea can rely on year to be challenging for every single trophy the way that Man City are now? I compare it, and again, there is times where this comes across very pessimistic and negative, but I think in the long run, what I say right now, I'm going to stick by. Diaz and Stones have been absolutely magnificent for Manchester City, and I think it's not just a good run of form that these guys have been on. They've been absolutely brilliant all season long. So the fact is, Rudiger, and even though Christensen has been absolutely phenomenal, and I don't really want to put a bad word on either of their names right now because of their current form, but I think long term, a world-class centre-back along the lines of a Van Dijk-esque kind of player, which is actually not that heavily available at the moment in the world football, to be honest. I don't think there's that many centre-halves who I think Chelsea could really justify putting in a gargantuan bid for, who would actually have that level of impact at the club. And, you know, at the moment, it is very much a case of we shouldn't knock anything. That Christensen, Rudiger, even Zuma at the weekend was very good. Jamie Hancock's, thank you very much for the £2 donation there. Appreciate that. Can you check out my Chelsea lineup wrap? Send it to me on Twitter. Send me the wrap on Twitter and I'll definitely have a little look once we finish with this. Or maybe I can do it now, as long as it isn't rude. There's no swearing in there, because I try not to swear here on GBFC. So let me know in the chat, do you guys think we need a centre-back? That is something I'd love to see from you lot, and I will give some of the responses back and I will read them out. Jose Jimenez, I'm seeing quite a little bit here in the chat. The thing with Jimenez is I watched him against us and I was not impressed. You know, if you compare the Atletico Madrid defensive performance to, you know, that of both, where Christensen wasn't playing, Zuma and Rudy, it was phenomenal. Thiago Silva's about to sign a new deal. I'm seeing Koundé in there. I'm seeing Alaba. Alaba's been the one that we've talked about for a while. Get Laporte, says Craig Scott. You see, Man City could actually field 2 starting 11s. I just saw someone say that a second ago, but it's actually true. They really can. And every time City have had a successful year or a successful spell, it's been when that squad depth is incredible. You know, when a new signing comes in, walks straight into the team, displaces someone of the quality of, let's say, last season, Leroy Sané. You know, brilliant footballer, went to Bayern Munich, but they've always had an abundance of players. And I think Chelsea now are actually getting to a point where we can safely say that we have some incredible squad depth at the club. We've got so many brilliant players, particularly in the midfield. You know, at the moment, defensively, we've got players who fall sick, Christensen in form, someone else comes in and does an incredible job. So I think I'm seeing Nicolas Sula talked about a little bit in the chat as well. Sula's someone that we've been linked with in recent months, but again, I don't necessarily think he's that brilliant. You got Ethan Ampadu currently on loan at Sheffield United. I think it would be very foolish, despite the confidence I have in Ampadu and where I think he's going to go as a footballer. I think it would be foolish for me to put him in the same conversation of the kind of centre-back that I'm talking about here, which is like a top quality centre-back who can come in. And if Thiago Silva, who I think is currently the big leader at the back, if he's not fit, then you know that this geezer can come in and do that kind of role that Silva brings to this team. There's also a lot of people mentioning in the chat, Tomori. Issue with Tomori is because Chelsea gave that option to buy in the loan deal to Milan. I think Milan are going to execute that, and I think they're going to take him, to be honest. I think the way that he's currently playing at AC Milan, he's doing very well. And I think it's simply a case that Chelsea might regret this one. And then there's also Malang Sarr, who you guys are spamming in the chat as well right now, which is exactly what I asked you to do. Malang Sarr has been brilliant for Porto this season. I think he's very strong, he's big, and I think overall, in the future, he's going to become a very good defender. But I do feel as though one of Zuma, Christensen or Rudiger still might be sold this summer. As to who I want that to be or who I think it should be, I don't really know at this moment in time. But I think one of them will be sold because I think Chelsea will look at Malang Sarr's season. Ethan Ampadu at times this year, despite playing in a struggling Sheffield United side. There's also Mark Gurhey at Swansea, who I think is a brilliant defender. And I think just because it's the Championship, I think maybe we get a little bit carried away thinking, it's just the Championship. But he's so good. If you watch any of him play, you'll be very impressed with the way he deals with things on the ball. Standing tackles, sliding tackles. He's a brilliant player. Jesse Lingard, says Charles Butt with the £2 super chat. Jesse Lingard to Chelsea. Absolutely not. Let's not get carried away. He's been in great form. I'm happy for him in a way, even though he's got real no affiliation to me whatsoever. But, it's been kind of the brunt of everyone's jokes saying, like, how is this guy still a professional footballer? He's been on the bench for United for 2 years or not even on the bench. Ozzy Mandias with another $3 donation. Why no GBFC merch available? Here's the thing about merch, okay? I will answer this question because I actually get this question a lot, be it on Instagram or everything. For merchandise, like, the way I see the George Benson Football Channel in the long run is as a football club, I want it to be a football club, and eventually when I'm older and maybe not so entertaining on the screen, I want to kind of segue the audience that I have here into building something, and I'm not just saying like I want to do what Spencer FC's done with #United. I'm thinking more of like combining my personal interest, which is sport, football, Chelsea and travel. I'm thinking of a way where I can actually make like, I can be a scout who goes all over the world looking for footballing talents and then deals with the legalities of actually funneling these kind of players to certain football clubs without breaking the rules. That's actually the goal that I have, maybe even having a football club too. But that's my dream, to be able to travel the world and like go to places where people dream of becoming football players, but they might not have the opportunities or the people that can actually put them in the right places and give them a platform to be seen so that people and football clubs can see the talent, So that's kind of where I'm going with that. As for merch, there's got to be something I'm passionate about. I was working on the project with my friend Biso for Blappies, which is his brand, but I was working on it closely with him, and then I've kind of like stepped back a little bit because it was taking too much of my time and I needed to focus on the channel. Someone says, why you call your girlfriend Daria if you can call her Dasha? She prefers Daria, that's why. Bless her. So, yeah, in terms of merch, I don't know. If you want merch, let me know in the chat because there's a lot of things I could do. I'm just a perfectionist with that kind of stuff and I don't want to release anything average. So it'll come with time probably, but who knows. People are saying Kimpembe in the chat. I think he's at Paris Saint-Germain, no? Koulibaly's name's being mentioned a little bit as well. Matt Miazga, I'm seeing that name come up. I think Matt Miazga, to be honest, like no disrespect to him, but he would have had his time at Chelsea right now. He's not young, to be honest. Yes Guys merch. I mean, that could be quite cool actually, couldn't it really? Yes Guys for real. So, Sergio Ramos. Let's talk about Sergio Ramos, shall we? I think having Thiago Silva at the club as being that like one experienced player is enough. I think it could become very much a clash if Sergio Ramos comes in as well. As much as I heavily respect Sergio Ramos as a footballer and the incredible career he's had, his goal scoring record for one is absolutely insane. So, like, yeah, it would be nice, but do I actually think it's a good thing to have that many personalities like that in the dressing room? I actually don't think it would be beneficial either for the club or for the player. I think it would be a big issue for Thiago Silva if he signs a new deal and then Chelsea go and bring in Sergio Ramos, which kind of is like his role. They bring in a competitor when he's at that point of his career and he wants to be signing a contract at Chelsea knowing that he's going to be playing, or the manager at least has the intention of playing him as long as his level doesn't drop. So, in my opinion, Sergio Ramos, it's a nice idea, but I don't think it's a great move either for Chelsea or the player. Mbayamba, who unfortunately, since signing from Barcelona, has had some serious injuries. And unfortunately, he's going to have to wait. As good as I think the guy can be, because obviously, like, he's super tall, he's a big lad, I think he's going to become a very, very good defender in time. With this injury, it's definitely going to have set him back, unfortunately. I just got back from the gym and made my food and see Benson's live. Well, don't you love to see it? If you're here in the stream, there's nearly 1,000 people in here. If you can hit the like button, that'll be bloody wonderful. And then Chelsea and Chill can go higher in the YouTube recommendations, which will be lovely. Okay, someone said, can I react to their rap? Did you tweet it to me? That's the thing. I asked you to send me a link on Twitter and you didn't do it. You know, I'm giving you an opportunity here, bro. It's very simple. You just have to send me the link and I'll play it. The moment I see anything rude or hear anything bad, I will definitely mute it. And if you send me one of those flipping sex noise, flipping videos in the background, trust me, I'm not stupid enough to not have my volume super low so that it doesn't ruin the stream and I don't get banned from YouTube for posting, you know, content that's not quite allowed. So, Varane is another name that I'm hearing here on the stream. I really wish I could stream from my laptop. I could put the players up on the screen, but, you know, we'll get there eventually with time. Varane is actually a quality player. Varane is someone who I think Chelsea will probably have liked at the club for quite a while now. I think Varane's the kind of player who has been linked with Chelsea in the past, but it's simply a case that he's been at such a successful Real Madrid team that it's been very difficult to see him leaving. But now there's been talks that Varane and Real Madrid, which is the key thing here, you know, Real Madrid had no reason to sell Varane. So therefore, whenever a team came in for him, thank you, Tom Simpson, for the £2 donation. Not going to read out your comment because it was a little bit rude, but thank you very much. And now it's at a point where Real Madrid are kind of feeling like a big rebuild is needed. And Varane's one of those players who's at an age where they can still command a big fee. Don't think it would quite be as big as it has been over recent years. But if Varane wants to move as well, it is the kind of transfer where this summer, someone like Varane could become available. But the thing with Chelsea at the moment, and this is why I find it so difficult to give my opinions on players that we're linked with for transfers, the biggest thing is I can't see anyone being dropped out of this side right now, you know, no matter who it is that comes in. And I think the only position right now that I would be like, yeah, we need someone to come in and fill up that role, even though Timo Werner's going to come good, I'm sure of it, Erling Haaland being in up front right now would elevate this Chelsea side immediately. We've had a $5 Australian donation from Wilson. Hi, Georgie. Thanks for creating such amazing content. No worries, my man. Thank you for consuming it. What about Matthias de Ligt from Juventus? Good player, still very young. It is the kind of caliber / potential player that Chelsea might be interested in based off of a lot of the signings we've been making in recent times. We're buying young players. We're building a team for the future. Not just a team for the future, a team for right now as well. Finally, all of Chelsea's signings from last summer are seriously beginning to come good for us. Hakim Ziyech scoring 2 in his last 2. Prime example of someone who wasn't quite at the levels we expected, but then all of a sudden, he's starting to get there now. Jamie Hancock's, it is ready for you. All right, you made a Chelsea rap then, did ya? Let's see if this is any good. It's on TikTok. Chelsea fan picks the lineup. Okay, this actually looks legit. Wait.
3CB on the rack, that's me, let me zoom my middle with silver. When watching the play get built up, Kante in Kovacic in the midfield bossing it. Pass it out to the wings, we're crossing it. That's Hudson Odoi and Pulisic. Up top, I'm going with Werner. With the restart, it's a Chelsea curse. Too short, man, I pray this works. Now need subs. Shouts out to the man.
This is actually sick, bro.
It's gonna take a lot of mountain time. Shouts out to man like Tammy. Shouts out to man like Billy. Shouts out to man like Jorginho. Shouts out to man like Chili. Yeah.
This is good.
Oh shit, he's letting him too.
Apart from the Kepa slander, that's actually pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna share this, guys. If you want to go and see, I mean, I'm gonna actually retweet this, to be fair. I don't often promote stuff, but I'm gonna promote this guy right now because I think it deserved it, you know? The beat was sick. The lyrics were pretty good. I mean, we just played this out on GBFC live and the chat bloody loved it. So why not give... We just had 2 donations come in. I will get them in a second. Give it a share. Hashtag CFC. Okay. See, this is what I wanted GBFC and Chill to be all about, you know? Like, getting involved, interacting. We got J-Rupt music coming in hot with some fire. Fantastic stuff, man. Like, it's actually pretty good. I was impressed. 2 donations are coming from Daniel. Hi, George. Much love from Macedonia. Didn't even know I had people watching me here in Macedonia. That's wonderful. For what you do on this channel, who is your top player of the season so far? Top player of the season so far for me is Mason Mount. I think last year he was brilliant, but quite frankly, I think this year he's become undroppable. He's become by far, in my opinion, the most important player in this Chelsea team. So, Mason Mount. Next donation comes in from John Revel. George, I love you, man. Been keeping quarantine bearable. Been watching since your Omegle days. Love the content, bro. Keep up all the best. Much love. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. The Omegle days were a bloody long time ago, but they were good days. Nonetheless, when I was a young little nipper, whipper, snapper. But appreciate it, bro. Cheers to you. Anyway, what are we saying in the chat? I'm seeing Hakimi. Lots of people are saying Ashraf Hakimi. I love Hakimi. I think he's a brilliant player. I think the fact he can play right back, right wing back, winger, left wing back, left back, winger. He is the perfect player, I think, for Chelsea. And if we look at the right-hand side, you've got people who are England fans calling on Reece James to be the right centre-back for England. I think Reece James will become a very good centre-back in that right centre-back position if he's given the opportunity. And as much as I bloody love Cesar Azpilicueta, and I think he's been fantastic for Chelsea this season, I think that Azpi, we know that he's at the latter end of his Chelsea career. I'm not saying it's over. I'm not saying like he's one game away from being dropped forever and never playing for us again. That's certainly not what it's going to be for Azpi. But what I do believe is in the long run, Reece James will move into that right centre-back position, or he'll just become a centre-back generally, maybe, if we're not playing 3 at the back. But the way it's looking right now, with Thomas Tuchel playing 3 centre-halves, it makes a lot of sense. And Ashraf Hakimi could come in and just walk straight into that wing-back role. You know, what that would do for Hudson-Odoi is another question. Maybe left wing back, someone's suggesting in the chat, but I think Hakimi is a natural in that position. You know, I think Callum's done very well to adjust and put himself in the reckoning for that role. But I think Hakimi would be a very, very good signing. So that's what I think to that. Richard Louis, thank you for the donation, my man. Greetings from New Jersey, USA. Do I think Pulisic has lost his mojo and will end up back in the Bundesliga? Absolutely not. I was a bit worried about Christian Pulisic's form. I've been worried about him all season, to be honest. If we focus on like the numbers, it's not been good. I know football's not all about the numbers of goals and assists. It's been a lot about minutes as well for him. But injuries worry me. The physicality of the Premier League has worried me. However, I said it before the game against Sheffield United in my preview. I said it will be a big game for him to turn up and show what he can do. And he did that. You know, I think Chelsea were quite flat. We didn't look very dynamic. We weren't trying many different risky things in that Sheffield United game. And I think when Pulisic had the ball, he always looked to take Sheffield United players on. I got a very itchy nose. I think I'm sunburnt after today. And that flip-flap, I mean, let's talk about that for a moment. I think Pulisic was a man of the match, hands down, for Chelsea against Sheffield United. And the flip-flap was just absolutely fantastic. He's one of those players where he has similarities to Eden Hazard, who's been the best dribbler I think I've ever seen in the world, apart from Messi as well. But Hazard, incredible, best dribbler I've ever seen in a Chelsea shirt. I saw another donation come in there. I will make sure I get that in a second from Ozzy. But with Pulisic, I'm very confident that it's just a form thing. You know, I think he struggled to get back in the side. It was always going to be difficult with so many different players in similar positions for players to actually come back into the team after they've been out for a while, especially when Chelsea are building so much momentum, players are in such good form. So I do believe Pulisic will come good, and to really answer your question in its fullest, I don't think Pulisic will go back to the Bundesliga. I don't think Chelsea are stupid enough to sleep on the talent that Christian Pulisic has. And I think, lo and behold, eventually we'll see him at his very best. I think he needs a good run of games. And then if he performs in those, which I think he will, you know, when that pressure's on for different players who, if they get dropped, an injury right now in this Chelsea team is catastrophic, really, for each individual who could get injured, because you never know if you're going to get your place back when Chelsea are playing this way. Aussie Mandias, again, $3. Keep it real. Who wins the Euros? England win the bloody Euros. What kind of question is that? Let me know, guys. Do you want to see me do content here on GBFC towards the Euros? I've had a lot of people say they want me to do the video that James Alcott did on his channel, which was like a tier list video, which you guys know we do tier lists here on the channel. Tier list video of who makes it to the Euros. If you want to see that on GBFC, let me know in the chat. But I think Mason Mount is absolutely going to the Euros. Okay, there's a lot of people saying that they want me to do content regarding the Euros. To be honest, I think it's just like, it's a football festival, isn't it, really? Like, it's like the World Cup. GBFC 2, people are saying do it on GBFC 2. The thing with GBFC 2 is it's not easy, you know, to actually manage just doing it on this channel. And I think with GBFC 2, I would love to do it, but at the moment, I need some help with it, you know? I need like an editor who can help edit those videos, because I want to do the GBFC ones all by myself, which I currently do. But for GBFC 2 to work, I'm going to need someone to help me. So, if you know any good editors, reach out to me on Twitter. Portugal have an insane team. They actually do. I think Portugal are going to be up there again. Obviously, they want to retain their trophy, as it will always be. So, Portugal are going to be tough. Belgium will obviously be good. World champions France, absolute no-brainer. They've got an incredible squad. So, I think they're going to be very good as well. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. People are saying Germany. Pay Jan, I'm sure he's going to help. No, Jan's got his own stuff to do. Jan's a busy man too. We've got a group chat that we talk in every single day. Me, Louis, Eunice and Jan. People are saying Sweden. Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming out of retirement. What we saying? Where will Billy Gilmore go if he went on loan? That is a good question I've just seen there from Sultan Abonomi. I think that Billy Gilmore, I think next season he's going to go out on loan. I'm going to talk about this a lot more in an upcoming video with somebody who I know is a massive Billy Gilmore fan. I just had another donation coming from Catchy. I'll get that one in a second. I'll catch that in a minute, see what I did there. But I think Billy's going to go out on loan next season for the simple reason that I think he's too good of a player to be waiting for FA Cup games. I think Billy Gilmore has the potential to be a top class midfielder. But when you've got three incredibly established quality players already in the Chelsea ranks, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante, it's near impossible for him to get the opportunities that he needs to develop his game, to get more minutes under his belt in the Premier League. And I think he'll go on loan to another Premier League club. I think if we can get him in like a team, a bit like we've seen with Ruben this year at Fulham. Don't quite think Ruben has hit the ground running the way he'd have liked to at Fulham this season. And obviously if they go down, it's still not going to look great. But I think Ruben can still become a great player. Billy, at a club like that, would be fantastic. And I think if we saw Billy Gilmore play for someone like Brighton, who they try and play some good football, but they lack a kind of player who has the technical ability that someone like Billy Gilmour has to carve teams open. And I think Gilmour's got the kind of potential to be a Cesc Fabregas-esque kind of player. You know, not the biggest, not the fastest, but he's pretty nippy, Billy Gilmour. He's got that in his locker as well. I don't know why I'm trying to like belittle attributes here, because he's brilliant. But I think Billy Gilmour at someone like Brighton, which it looks like they're going to stay up now because they're getting into some decent form. They scored 3 at the weekend. Someone like Brighton, I think, would be a great move for Billy Gilmour next season. As much as I want to see him stay, I think it's at a point now where he'll probably look back at this season and think, great experience again, being under Lampard, being under Tuchel now as well. Brilliant experience again, being behind Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, those players. But for his progress and his development, he has to be playing first team football. So Tariq Lamptey, I've just seen Ozzy Mandias again saying that. Tariq Lamptey went to Brighton and look exactly what he's doing. He's been absolutely fantastic. Catchy, I'm going to go and catch your donation. How important do you think it is for Thiago Silva to play the quarter and maybe the semi/finals of the Champions League? That is a great question. I think at the moment, I wouldn't throw all of my importance on Thiago Silva being in the team. There's a couple more donations I want to say a big thank you for. First one is from Victor, thank you very much. And the other one from Siddharth. I'll get that question in a second. Back to Thiago Silva. At the moment, I'm so happy with our centre-backs. Zuma, Rudiger, Christensen have been absolutely fantastic. And also Azpilicueta, can't forget that. But I think Azpi is he's a given in the starting 11 this season since Tuchel took over. So I kind of look at Rudiger, Christensen and Zuma as the 3 that might rotate. And I have no idea who's going to come in instead. So I think Thiago Silva's experience could be absolutely vital. But I think we're going to see a very tentative approach to playing Thiago Silva between now and the end of the season from Thomas Tuchel. I think any hint that his fitness might not be perfect, or any hint that he might not be fully fit already, is going to stop him from playing. And you know, sometimes with footballers, you just play them like Kante, for example. Whether it's worked in his favour or not is very arguable. But when Kante is like 70% fit, he's still better than virtually all the midfielders in the world anyway. So you play him if you're the manager. But Thiago Silva's 36 years old. And I think that with Zuma, Azpi, Rudiger, Christensen, with all of those players doing so well, and even without Thiago Silva, you've got 4 options there and one of them still has to miss out. 2 miss out if you include a fit Thiago Silva. I don't think it's going to be essential that he plays if we can carry on playing the way we're playing. It's a big if, you know, things might all of a sudden just capitulate if we have a dodgy result at home to West Brom. Where did that flipping bug go? I think he ended up in my fridge. Nothing in there, mate. I've not gone shopping. Yeah, so I don't think Silva is essential in a sense that if he's not playing, we're not going to win. I still think we can beat anybody. Siddharth, thank you for the 100 rupee donation. Looks like the club don't see Reece in the centre-back position as he's very short. He's 5'9". We'd also lose an elite crosser. Yes, I think Reece James's transition to a centre-back role will be a very slow one. And I think until Chelsea do sign someone along the lines of Ashraf Hakimi, if we sign someone like that, then I think we might see it sooner. At least an attempt to see it sooner. And he's also an incredible crosser of the ball. But imagine him as an overlapping centre-back. Imagine how good it would be. Had another donation from Jack Bragg. Loving the show. Can you give a shout out to my mate? I'm not going to read that out because I know what you're trying to get me to say. It's all grand and rosy. I appreciate it. Cheers, bro. But, you know, good try. You failed. Thank you to everybody who's left a super chat, by the way. Do appreciate it. So, we have been going for 45 minutes. It's been a nice little chat with you here on GBFC today. I'm going to wrap this one up now. I think in the future, I want to get a few more topics available and actually pre-plan things a little bit more, maybe get a couple of guests on. So first things first, I want to say a massive thank you for everybody here who's donated on the super chats, everybody who has hit the like button. If you haven't yet hit the like button, make sure you do so. And if you can timestamp some of the topics in the comments down below, this has kind of just been like a little introduction to the idea. I literally had the idea of Chelsea and Chill about 5 minutes before I went live, or 20 minutes before I went live or something. So in the future, I'll work on like a bit more of a format for it. But yeah, thank you guys for all the love and support. 6 Things We Learned was obviously out straight after the game against Sheffield United. So hit the like button on this stream. And if you didn't see 6 Things We Learned, then make sure you go and check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all later. Come on, you Blues.